Welcome to Otaku Shot, where's something that looking at anime. I'm Shane.
I'm Scott.
Cheers. What are we drinking tonight, Scott?
Well, we got Fireball and Blue Moon, pumpkin wheat. It's okay.
Seasonal. I like it.
It's okay.
Guys, it's almost fall.
Almost?
Is it fall yet?
No. I don't know why I said almost.
I was going to say, because it's not fall yet.
It's summer.
It's still technically summer.
So then why, you could have just said it's summer. Like it's current season.
I don't know. I don't know the days of which it becomes fall.
Okay, well let's talk about fucking anime.
Anyway, so today, I recently figured out that so we have a Gmail account at otakushotglass.
Apparently.
Yeah,
I wonder who set that up.
So I did. Forgot about it. Finally checked it today to realize that we had a couple questions from fans. To those who did ask us a question that we're going to answer today, I am so sorry that I did not see your question. Our Gmail is like probably the least place to get our attention. It is now if you want to go through it, but like prior to that, I pretty much just relied on Tumblr. So, we're just gonna be answering those questions today, then talking about what we're watching.
Yeah.
Sound great?
Yeah, let's get to it.
Okay, so this first question is from the Gmail from sakurasusuno07@gmail.com. Thank you for asking us a question. So, hi Scott and Shane, I'm Sakura. I love your podcast and Shane's Tumblr. That's how I found out about Otaku Shot. So I was just curious. I noticed that on your Tumblr it's mainly anime, but also from games to DC Comics. So I was wondering why you mainly focus on anime. Why not talk about the rest of your interests? Let me know. Winky face.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Ooh, a winky face and everything. Huh? Wow.
You got a good fan. Thank you, Sakura. To answer your question, I do post a lot of DC Comics and like gaming stuff, mainly Overwatch. We have talked about gaming stuff here in the past, just that had to do with anime games. Never really. I think we talked about Overwatch a couple times here.
Yeah, we brought it up in passing for sure.
As those who don't know, I'm a very adamant Overwatch player. Playing fucking constantly. Love Overwatch. Good ass game. And I guess Persona would count as games. Like, I mean, we would talk about the anime, but like I've played the game extensively. I've played it. I'm on my 5th run now. So
5th run.
I'm on my 5th run of Persona 5 right now.
Jesus Christ.
Finally made it to the 5. That is Persona 5.
Persona squared.
Persona squared. So to answer your question, the reason why I didn't really want to do that is mainly because of Scott.
So you're just gonna throw me under the bus.
I mean, to be fair, you don't read any comics.
That was gonna be my answer too. Is that like anime is kind of the thing that we share.
Like, yeah, that's like
I'm not really into like the games or comics as much. So we wouldn't really have a lot to talk about. It would just be me arbitrarily agreeing and disagreeing with things.
Yeah,
which is kind of what I do anyway.
You're fucking right. See, outside of this though, to be fair, even with comics, I still feel like comics and video games, I still feel like anime is my favorite medium.
I agree.
Comics was like my first interest that I got into, and that's where like I kind of got kicked out into being this nerd that I am today. But like Batman comics is pretty much all I read. And with a mix in of most of the DC universe, I don't actually read any Marvel comics besides Hawkeye. But like, there's nothing really to talk about with that. Plus, anime is so easy to obtain. Like, you can, like, we'll both have to buy a comic and read it, but like, it's different than for like episodes upon episodes airing each week that I can just get a streaming service and we can watch it.
Yeah, there's also a wider variety of genre, I think.
I mean, yeah, as opposed to me just because like I only read Batman comics for the most part, like
exactly.
As opposed to just me talking about fucking Batman the entire time. Hey, look at my wall, Scott. Check it out. Got Batman everywhere. I got a Harley Quinn figure today.
Yeah, it's very lewd.
It is very lewd. I'm very happy about it.
As he looks up at it longingly.
It looks very good. I can see those juicy thighs from here.
Oh my god. Although, yes, that is the correct part to be looking at.
You're right. But anyway, that's why I don't really do anything else. My Tumblr is mainly for what I am interested in, but not for the general recollection of what me and Scott are both into.
Yeah, the Tumblr is all Shane. I don't have anything.
Yeah, Scott's got nothing to do with my Tumblr. Overwatch stuff, I mean, I talk about from time to time just because, like, there's some stuff that's anime related, because Overwatch has a very big anime inspiration. Like Gaku Space, the voice of Genji, who's my main, actually is huge in anime. So there's a couple times where he'll have some voice lines or anything that's very related to that. It's not common though. But I mean, maybe the future. If it ever has anything to do with anime, obviously we will talk about it.
There is that Batman thing that came out recently.
Oh yeah, Batman Ninja. Did you ever watch Batman?
No, I never
Batman
did.
Ninja? Oh shit, we should watch that and talk about that sometime.
Hell yeah.
I liked Batman Ninja actually. It was fine. Besides the fact that they made weird mechas out of like animals. It was a whole.
That's so brutal.
So like it's weird because like I remember at one point in time it's like Joker versus Batman, like it always is. You know how it goes.
Yeah.
And
like like Batman.
Yeah.
Like Batman.
But Joker's in like a big mecha suit, and I remember Bruce didn't have a big mecha suit.
Oh.
So all these monkeys for some reason gathered up into one big mecha suit. They formed like this big giant mecha suit out of all monkeys. And it was kind of fucked up
because just giving him a mech suit isn't good. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense that they just give him one.
Well, they were in like Edo period Japan.
Oh, clearly. So a little bit of anachronisms clearly doesn't make as much sense as a bunch of monkeys joining together.
Well, Scott,
to form a moving.
To be fair, Batman can conjure a swarm of bats. Thank you very much. He can now conjure a swarm of monkeys. He's now called Monkey Man.
I think that's a different thing.
I don't even know if there is a Monkey Man.
I'm sure there is.
I'm sure there is, to be honest, now that I think about it. I'll be Monkey Man. If there isn't one, just know that I will come back as Monkey Man.
That'd be a sweet cosplay.
Anyway, Batman Ninja was fine besides that part. It was kind of fucked up though because like Bruce Wayne's code of ethics is like, you know, I don't kill people, but yet he let hundreds and hundreds of monkeys die because there's a part where Joker's mech is like spewing out a bunch of flames, and I remember it's burning all of his mech, and I remember it was burning so much that you could literally see like monkeys falling off of it. So there's just charred monkeys everywhere.
Such a rich fiction in Batman Ninja. I love it.
So that was Batman Ninja. We'll talk about that next time, but it was good in my opinion. It was like not very standard for like normal Batman movies.
Really, the monkey mech suit burning.
Yeah, it was
not standard.
Not standard for Batman comics. I actually recently went back and watched all the DC animated shorts for Batman. So like anywhere from, I think I watched Son of Batman to where they currently are in Teen Titans, as well as like Justice League Doom and a bunch of other stuff, which are all actually pretty anime inspired actually. There's a lot of Japanese animators that actually are part of the team. They're definitely not as good as anime is, but they probably didn't have the budget to be that good. The Batman Ninja animation was actually really good. It was in that like 3D.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It looked fine. I liked what they did with characters.
Yeah.
Some of the characters looked very weird. Because they were in like traditional Japanese costumes. Damian Wayne, who was Robin at the time, had like a weird like traditional like monk haircut. Where it was like he had like a tuft of hair that was up front, and then everything around it was shaved. And then, like, a ponytail in the back.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of weird, right?
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah. But besides that, great time. We'll talk about it more next podcast, probably. Because I'm going to get you to watch it. I actually bought it recently.
Oh, hell
so
yeah.
we can watch it on DVD.
Want to move on to the next question?
Yes, I do. Thank you once again, Sakura, for asking us that amazing question that took up almost 10 minutes of time.
All right, now we just got to fill 5 more of those intervals.
Yes, we do. So
it took me a second to do that math there, huh? I better get some more whiskey in me.
Good job. Good
You're
math.
welcome.
So, next coming from literally Kaneki Ken, kaneki.dollars@gmail.com. Hey guys, I love your podcast and wanted to ask you a few questions that I'd like to hear your opinion on. First, do you think anime has completely changed from what it originally started as? Example from being from 1990s to the present, style, humor, etc. I don't really know what to think about that question, to be honest. So, I assume that they're asking, do you believe that anime has changed since the 90s? Which, obviously it has.
Yeah.
I feel like he's also possibly asking if we believe that there's, like, elements kept. Like, are there some elements that stayed the same? I'm not very familiar with anything from the 90s as opposed to maybe early 2000s. That's about as far as I go. But from what I imagine, stuff from what I've seen in my childhood as opposed to now has pretty much been the same. The only thing being maybe more lewdness or possibly more anime tropes.
I think it... So, I think this question has to do a lot with just how...
Anime has evolved?
Well, yeah, that's the whole premise of the question. Like,
well, I mean,
like
yeah,
things,
but like...
Things in general, as they... Like, new, like, formats, as time goes by, are naturally going to evolve and change. So it's like... I think anime has definitely changed from the 90s to the stuff that's airing now, but I don't think it's in any type of, like, jarring or, like, unnecessary way. I think it's all just a change that has happened as the anime community has been more recognized by kind of both the Western cultures and as it... I actually don't know how... I guess, has it always been popular in Japan since that's where it was like...
Well, yeah.
I don't know, like, the history of fucking anime.
I mean, it's the whole thing of, like...
I mean, it's fucking all Japanese animation, so I'm guessing...
Let me say this. If you're going to Japan and you're expecting to be more accepted as a anime nerd there, just know you are not going to be accepted as much as you are. Because even though you're a nerd in America and you like anime, going to Japan is not going to change that. You're still going to be a nerd who likes anime in Japan. So it's kind of been the same. Like, it's funny, though, because someone I was talking to recently was like... I actually had a kind of like a minor topic about this recently with someone I work with that was saying that anime's changed. And saying, like, oh, it's weird because, like, they would have never showed Attack on Titan in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, that's not true because they made Elfen Lied in the early 2000s. And Elfen Lied was literally a gory as fuck series.
Is that the Invisible Hand ladies?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So, like... They could have made Attack on Titan in the early 2000s if it was around.
Yeah.
But, like, it probably wouldn't have gotten as big with what it is in the animation. Animation has gotten a lot further than it is. So, like, there's a lot of shit that, like, it's weird to see stuff that's, like, recently, like, I don't know, I've never actually watched Fooly Cooly. But, like, I've seen a ton of shit from Fooly Cooly originally. Mm-hmm. And I saw a bunch of stuff from the Fooly Cooly alternative recently and noticed that the animation has gotten a lot better. It's, like, it's kept its kind of, like, original look. But, like, they've made it so that, like, it kept this vintage look as well as being nicely animated.
Yeah.
And in terms of animation, obviously shit has evolved. There are so much more things we can do. We're getting into more 3D animation these days. Obviously, time is going forward.
Yeah.
But...
I mean, that's... Sorry to kind of interrupt you. Like, that's kind of the point I was trying to get at earlier is anything with time is going to change. And is it better? Is it worse? I don't fucking know. I
still feel like anime has not evolved that much from then. Because there are still a lot of anime tropes and stuff that have stayed the same. And, like, stuff like, I mean, I went from watching, like, a current anime that was airing today, and then I watched Samurai Champloo, and I'm like, holy shit, Samurai Champloo's so good, but it still is anime. It still feels that anime taste.
Yeah.
And obviously that's kind of a bad example just because Samurai Champloo...
Good old anime taste.
I mean... But then again, you're not seeing a ton of lollies and stuff from what you used to do.
True.
I mean, maybe.
But I think... but that's also because like again, as your audio, like as your format gains more popularity, the demand to see different things is going to like grow and expand. So it's like it's not that anime has become a straight line and added more lollies. It's like moving out like a fan, and there's lollies in one corner and fucking ghouls in another like section of the fan, and maybe a tree is a more ample metaphor for what I'm looking for with multiple branches. There we go. A tree is
branches.
Not a fan. Yeah, branches with
a tree does have branches.
One branch with lollies, and that's the branch I want to be on. And then all the other branches with, what did I say? Ghouls.
I think ghouls.
Yeah, and then the other branch with like samurai. You know, those 3 branches of anime.
So the lollies, the ghouls, and the samurais.
Yeah.
So those are the 3
basic components.
I think I've cracked anime. I think I just figured out what anime is all about. So you're telling me if I make a show that's about lolly samurai ghouls, I will top the charts. I don't know about that. I think that tree might get cut down. I know I would have cut down that tree. I know I definitely would have cut off the lolly part of that tree, which you will be on. Which I will watch you from the top of the tree fall down.
As I fall, yeah.
Anyway, I mean, yeah, there's definitely a change. I think that there's some things that have definitely kept the same, as in, like, humor and trope-wise, but besides that, like, I mean, I don't really know exactly what terms you're talking in, but, like, animation, definitely. I mean, not even animation, because, like, nowadays they're trying to make, like, we just talked about Megalobox and how, like, Megalobox is literally meant to look like it's a vintage anime. That's just the style.
It's just drawn in that style.
Yeah. And, like, that's become a style. So, like, nowadays we might see stuff that looks vintage even though it's not. And, like, I know that stuff is coming back that is vintage that hasn't been around in years. Like, I know that Code Geass is having stuff coming out. And,
what?
I guess Code Geass isn't that old now that I think about it. Code Geass is 2007?
Yeah.
I'm saying, Neon Genesis is what I'm thinking of.
Oh.
Yeah, Neon Genesis I thought was getting something new.
Code Geass.
I'm pretty sure Neon Genesis is from the early 2000s. But who knows? I haven't watched any of these, so I can't tell you. I really want to watch Code Geass, and I really want to watch Neon Genesis, because they're literally like the 2 biggest animes that are in existence. And I should probably watch them, but I'm lazy.
I feel like that doesn't really work as an excuse for not watching anime, but I'll just let it slide.
It is that way because with shows that are currently airing, I can literally just watch a episode and I'm immediately caught up.
True enough.
As opposed to having to binge watch an entire series.
Hey, you want to finish One Piece with me?
So we're not doing that. I remember me and Scott recently calculated how long it would take us to sit down and like just legit watch One Piece. And I think it came out to be like 5 straight days of we would have to be sitting here nonstop playing episodes for 5 whole days in order to complete the series, or at least catch up with the series.
Yeah, catch up is what it was.
Because it's still going. So then after that, we have the years and years of keeping up with One Piece that we'll later have to stop watching and then later get into another 5 whole days of catching up on those episodes. So we'll watch 1,000 episodes, wait till it hits 2,000 episodes, get going from there.
Okay.
So that's a plan.
Yeah, it's okay. Let me know when we start that.
Scott, you don't even have a day to hang out with me.
That's true.
Let alone 5 days to watch One Piece. I have 5 days to watch One Piece. I guess if we
we'll just both set aside 5 days.
I just feel like I wouldn't want to spread it out because if I spread it out, I know I'm not going to finish it.
Yeah, no, you gotta go straight through. So I would need
that 5 whole days to finish it. Anyway, not doing One Piece. Anime has definitely changed.
Oh, we need to watch it in One Piece. It was right there.
Fuck. I hate that you said that because I knew you were going to say that at some point.
It just came to, like...
Scott. You're a One Piece kind of guy. I think you might be whole.
Okay. I hope I'm whole. I kind of need all of my body here. Well, I guess I could afford to lose, like, an arm.
You have a few holes.
I'd live, yeah.
So you're not technically one piece, you're full holes.
Oh, but the holes are connected throughout my body.
It doesn't matter, it's just going in.
But I guess there is an opening.
I guess
and
we'll
an exit,
answer.
kinda.
I guess they'll answer their next question.
Okay.
Again for kaneki.dollars@gmail. And second question: what are your favorite ships, and what would you say is your OTP? Hope to hear your opinion and keep drinking. I will keep drinking.
We have been.
What would you say your favorite OTP is, or your favorite ship in general?
I don't really know. I'm not too big on like ships in anime. I kind of just let people interact how they are.
I will say this, Kaneki.dollars, is that I strive for ships. I love ships. Like, half the time I will pick up something specifically because it's romance. Like, I watch shoujo a lot just because it's romance. And I like romance shoujos, but like, fucking, like, I remember I went through a period where I just craved romance, and I wanted to see romance. So that's all I watched. I would say that my OTP, that's a very tough question. So it's either between Kaneki and Toka, or it's between Taki and Mitsuha from Your Name.
That's a good one.
Mainly because Red String of Fate.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Like, clearly a romance. Clearly. So, yes. Those are about my two. I mean, I have others. Fucking Yuno and Yuki from Mirai Nikki. Sasuke and Sakura. I'm trying to think of a lot of other things. I don't really have a lot of, like, ton of, like, I ship a lot of people, but I don't really have anybody that I'm like, oh my god, this is like the romance I want.
Yeah, I feel like to a certain extent, I've seen so many shows that I just now don't even remember. Like, I'm sure there's so many characters that I've shipped while I was watching the show, and now they're gone from my mind. They no longer exist.
I changed my opinion. So I'm going to say top three. So top three being, first being Toka and Kaneki, second one being Okabe and Makise.
Good one.
Third one being Taki and Mitsuha. So that's my goal. I know that you don't want anything. At least name something. Just name a ship you liked. Can be from literally fucking anything. Nothing? How do you watch anime and not get involved in ships?
I don't know.
That's like the thing that goes on in anime. Do you just not like love?
Well, I mean, yeah, everyone knows that.
Scott, you gotta get involved in love. This is why you're a cold piece of shit. Cause you're not in love.
Jesus Christ. Hey, if you want to get real, fucking do it. Not right now.
Scott. So I'm meaning to have this intervention with you for quite a while now. But I've noticed lately that you're kind of an asshole. And I kind of don't like you because you don't like ships.
Alright, this is the end of the podcast. See you guys. I'm going. I'm out. Okay.
So I seem to have lost my co-host. He doesn't seem to like ships and all, but that's because he's a little asshole.
Okay, I didn't know how long that bit was supposed to go, so I'm coming back in.
So Scott's coming back in. The bit's over.
I don't know ships.
Scott doesn't know ships. You don't even ship like
the SS Missouri.
Okay, not that. You don't even ship like, I don't know, Uraraka and fucking Deku.
I mean, not necessarily.
That's like a clear like, yeah.
I don't think about it.
Why?
I don't know.
To get involved in the characters, to also get involved in their relationships.
I feel like it's just not
or like Okabe focus. Or like Okabe and Makise. Like, that's definitely a ship.
Well, yeah. But that's just like I just kind of view that as like, well, that's the story of the show. Like, I view a ship as like something that's not necessarily canonical.
See, that's the thing though, is that like yes, you have Makise and Okabe that is canon. I need a drink now that I think about it. Oh yeah, we have a new drinking game. If I mispronounce anything or if he mispronounces anything.
No, it's not. It's if you forget.
If you forget, oh, I'm doing it as in mispronouncing anything.
Okay,
either.
well then I'm gonna be drinking a whole hell of a lot, which is not good. Not ideal right now.
See, but spoiling stuff from now. By the way, this is a Steins Gate spoiler.
We'll get into it later.
But like recently, fucking like in the current Steins Gate Zero episodes, like Mayoshi recently came out and was like, "I fucking love Okabe." And like, yeah, that fits with the progression. It's like now at this point in time, it is a ship because it's like, do you ship him with her? Or do you ship him with Makise? Or do you ship him with fucking what's her name, Hyajo?
Is that what her name is?
Yeah, Hyajo.
Okay. Are you asking me?
I'm just saying, like, you're talking about ships and how it's pretty much like it's not canon, but like,
I just feel like it's made pretty clear in the show where Okabe's feelings lie. So it's like, what's up for debate?
But see, I'll say this: they didn't really show this in the anime, but I remember during the gameplay for the visual novel, they made it very clear that he, in the beginning, was not going to be with Makise anymore. They made it like pretty clear that it was like, oh, he was probably gonna end up Hyajo if he didn't save everybody, which like he did save everybody, obviously. Well, not yet, but like getting there. But certain timelines, he ended up with different people, kind of. He like settled.
Yeah, that's not really cool though. That's not really like a ship. I feel like.
Or it's like the whole thing of like you never watched.
That's like the person I actually love died.
Yeah, or it's like Durara, for example. Like, did you ship anybody in Durara?
No.
No? Not at all?
I mean, Celti and the one dude, but...
Shinra?
I forgot his name. Fuck. Drink.
Or, like, did you ship Shizuo with Verona?
Who?
Or, like, Verona, the girl with the... Verona?
No.
No?
No.
Why don't you look for romance?
I don't know. It's just not an interest I have.
I just feel like that's such a big anime thing that it's like I feel like to ignore it is ridiculous.
I mean, I don't think I ignore it. Like, I'll acknowledge it as part of a story. I just don't get wrapped up in like thinking about it too much.
I think I just like love.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. I think you're a cold, heartless bastard.
Well, yeah.
All right. Well, to answer your question, I have ships. Scott has no opinion, and love reigns supreme. So,
I have no rebuttal.
I feel like I've made you watch like romances too.
Maybe you have the amount.
Do you not ship anybody in like fucking like even like Demi?
No, God no.
Nothing.
No.
Not even like the succubus and the teacher?
Okay, I do ship them.
So yeah, you have a ship.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't need to be like anything like big, like, oh my god, I'm like dying hard for this, but you're like, okay, if they got together, like, it wouldn't be bad.
Okay.
You get what I mean here?
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't mean that to be like as hardly as I am, like where I'm like adamant, like, oh my god, if this doesn't happen, I'm gonna be very pissed off, which I feel a lot. Say for like I guess Mitsuha and Taki were like set to be together, but like there were a point in time during the movie where you might have thought that they wouldn't have. Like, would have pissed you off if they had not met each other?
Kind of, maybe.
That's what I'm saying. But then again, it's like a plot line.
It's also like they're going to.
I mean, I guess those red strings of fate are pretty prominent in that. I don't know. I just feel like ships are very, very, very much a part of anime culture.
Oh, I mean, they're definitely a part of the culture.
I'm just saying with the amount of anime you watch, I just feel like you would have ships.
I feel like I don't have ships because of the amount of like I just said, like I've definitely watched shows where I've shipped characters, but I literally don't remember.
Okay, that's fair.
Because I just don't even remember. Like, my brain can only focus on, like, 15 anime at a time, tops. And that's pushing it.
Well, beyond you, then. I can think about a lot.
Yeah, I know. You're much more skilled than I am.
I'm a lot more skilled.
Please teach me your ways.
Yeah, you gotta get this room, dude. Gotta get involved, bro. Okay.
Gotta get more figures.
You do gotta get more figures. I got a recently Harley Quinn figure.
Yeah,
today.
okay, we've been over this.
Oh my god, it looks great.
Okay, yeah, the thighs, we get it.
I love it. I'm so happy with it.
Do we have more questions?
No, we don't have any more questions. We can finally move on. So we're gonna move on to what's currently going on. I guess we'll start with I don't know, Attack on Titan.
Can we start with Hanebado?
Oh, okay. I guess we'll start with lean into Hanebado.
I have some fucking thoughts.
Okay, I'm gonna say mine first because it's not long. So also to start out with. This is our anime book club section of this. If you have not watched any of the shows,
spoilers.
Tune in whatever you want to. So we're watching Attack on Titan, Hero Academia, Persona 5, Hanebado, Cells at Work. What else? Is that it?
Did you say Persona 5?
Yes.
Did you say Hanebado?
Yeah.
Did you say Attack on Titan?
Yeah.
Did you say...
Don't just name off everything that I just said. And we want to talk about the Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple movie.
Oh, fuck yeah. That was real confusing there at the end.
Oh, it was real confusing in general. But anyway.
So, your thoughts, Hanebado.
So my thoughts, Hanebado, I really hate the show. Actually, if the show does not get better in the next 2 episodes, I'm actually going to drop it. Also, if the show is longer than 12 episodes, I might just drop it anyway because it's not worth my time. I hate everything that's going on with it. I hate the characters. I feel like they're trying to make me seem like I am supposed to care about these characters who I've learned nothing about. I thought that the main character was going to be, I don't know her name. I'm going to take a drink in a second. I don't know any of their names now that I really think about it besides Hanasaki, who's, I guess, the main character. But I thought that I was going to learn more about the main character, who I thought it was, who's the short-haired girl with the big boobs.
Yeah.
But turns out she's not even the main character anyway.
Nagisa.
Yeah, Nagisa. They fucked up multiple plot lines. I thought that they were going to introduce much more bigger problems. They ended up not doing that. I thought it was going to be a lot more wholehearted, kind of like Haikyuu, but it ended up being a whiny piece of shit. Anyway, I don't like Hanebado. I think it's a angsty piece of shit. The only thing I do like about it is the animation styles when they are playing. That is it. That's the only reason I like it.
So I have a few thoughts about it. Mostly regarding to comparing it to Haikyuu, because I think that was kind of the way I was framing it in my mind, like going into it is like, oh, it's like Haikyuu, but badminton. But I think the reason why Hanebado is not quite as satisfying is because like Haikyuu kind of gave us like an underdog story, right? Like people who...
Not even an underdog
Well,
story.
it is with...
I mean, it is with Hinata, but it's like...
Who's our protagonist?
I mean, is he... I mean, I guess he's the protagonist.
So, how about this? I'll phrase it this way. Haikyuu is a story of multiple youths striving towards self-improvement, towards a goal that they are passionate about. How's that?
Fair.
So, but Hanebado, like, literally, when we're first introduced to the characters, like... Ayano literally doesn't even want to play badminton.
Yeah.
Like, doesn't even like this, like, want to play it. When we're introduced to Nagisa, she's fucking pissed at everyone and being a dick because of other reasons. Like, I feel like, and, like, even... I gotta fucking get my brain back.
Can I say something also? So... The thing that I always thought about also, which reminded me of Haikyuu in the beginning of Hanebado, is because the first thing you see in Hanebado is the match between Hanasaki and Nagisa.
Yeah.
So then they end up being at the same school where they end up having to be in the same team.
Mm-hmm.
So if you compare that to Haikyuu, Kageyama, Hinata. Right there, you end up thinking, oh my god, Hinata, the guy who wasn't able to beat Kageyama, ended up having to be on a team with him. Ending up having to work with him as a teammate. But in the way that badminton works, you don't actually have to team up with really anybody. I mean, you can be with, I guess, another person, but like the way that their matches worked, they were alone. So therefore, it canceled out the fact of, oh shit. In the beginning, I thought that they were going to be like, oh cool, whatnot. But now in the current episodes, they're going to have to face each other soon, and all this other bullshit. And it's just like, the way they were building it up was making it seem like such a story of people who didn't really care for the sport anymore, which is how they described it in the beginning. Was like, oh, I didn't know how to feel about the sport, but now I love it. But it just kind of seems like a bunch of people who are playing the sport that are way too intense about it and possibly don't give a fuck about it, because Hanasaki is apparently a psychopath. Anyway,
yeah.
Going back to it, the character build-up has just been very weird, and
like we have no reason to root for them.
Once again, like, we were talking about that.
Yeah, they don't even like. A lot of them are just half-assing it, or they're just already good, and anything they're overcoming right now is just like social problems, and it's just not entertaining. It's not immersive.
I've heard a lot about how the manga is much different than this.
Really?
Which is why it kind of pisses me off. Because like I was talking to somebody recently and they were like, yeah, the manga is much less angsty. The manga is strictly them just playing badminton and having fun. And I'm like confused as to why they would make a series just full of angst for no reason at all. And
I mean, the whole tone of the show is just fucking depressing and dark, and like,
it's dark for it being sports anime.
Yeah,
and
not that that's inherently bad, but it's just they haven't. I feel like I don't understand the characters enough to care about any of the drama that they're
That's
going
what I'm saying.
through. Like, they haven't developed them enough for me to actually care about it. So when they're trying to have these scenes where I'm supposed to be moved by it, I'm just like,
that's another thing about Haikyuu, is that even in the beginning, when you really didn't give a shit about these characters, they did it in such a way that made you care about these characters. And that's what Hanebado lacks. And I know it's bad to just compare this to Haikyuu, but like, I don't think any anime that is sports related will ever compare to Haikyuu, in my opinion. I think Haikyuu set the standard for sports anime. And
for sure.
For all the sports anime I've watched Kuroko's Basket, I watched Free, I watched a little bit of Battery, which was bad. I watched Days, which is soccer. Out of every single sports anime I've ever watched, Haikyuu has been the most one that has stuck with me. Like, not even like sports anime, just like anime in general. Haikyuu stuck with me. Like, after all these different like plot lines and all these different genres, Haikyuu, the fucking volleyball anime, has stayed with me, and that's what I love about it. And like, I was really hoping that Hanebado would measure up to something close to that by like what I saw from the trailers of it being kind of happy and kind of just like the animation style is gorgeous.
Yeah.
So I was thinking,
it almost pisses me off that the rest of it doesn't hold up, because the animation is.
Some of their scenes so far, I mean, it depends. I was hoping that it would stay the same the entire series. It's kind of dropped a slight bit, in my opinion.
I don't have a good enough eye to notice.
And going off of just Hanebado in general, also, is that like, once again, they've given me a lot of plot lines that I thought I was going to care about, and I ended up not caring about it because they didn't give me any detail on these characters. And same for like the most recent episode where they were talking about like, I don't remember her name. With the, like...
Yeah, I don't know her name either.
Yeah, once again, we don't even fucking know the names of these characters to even know about them. That just shows...
To be fair, I'm bad at that anyway.
I mean, I just feel like if I like a character... I mean, yeah, you might be bad at that. When it comes to characters I like, I still feel like they stick with me a bit more.
Yeah.
And...
I mean, that's how you know that you've written a good character, is when it sticks with your audience and you can recall it like that. It's like...
And Hanebado just didn't have that. And...
It definitely... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And... The main two things that I want to talk about here is the fact that Hanebado had multiple plot points that I thought were going to be a lot more prominent in the series and ended up not being. So, I talked about this with Scott earlier. So, for example, the first one being Hanasaki's mom showing up at the volleyball, like, what are they, like, their inter-high thing?
Yeah, I think
so. You saw her, and then they're like, oh shit, at the end of the episode, they're like, oh shit, this is Hanasaki's mom. And Then at the next episode, they go into a completely different set of characters, not even having to do with Hanasaki, and then going into a completely different, like, game. And then I was like, oh, okay, that's fine. Maybe they're just going to, like, build up to that next episode. Next episode, nothing. No mention of her. No mention of her at all. Next episode, finally you hear about a glimpse of her, and then in the end of the episode, you realize that, oh shit, she's back at home. And, like, Hanasaki's like, oh my god, I don't like you, and you're like my mom, and you left me to... First of all, she's a weirdo, because it's like, oh, I left you to go get this Denmark kid, and, like, raised her, I guess, because I obviously don't give a shit about you. And then her parents are like, yo, you should, like, come back to Japan and, like, raise the daughter.
Yeah, maybe, like, take care of that daughter.
Yeah, you have, like, a daughter. Did you know that?
You know you have a daughter?
I know that you have another daughter now.
You used to play badminton?
Yeah, and then you were like, oh shit, she's not good at badminton. So you just kind of dropped her off at my house and went to Denmark to find another girl that was possibly good at badminton. Anyway, and then
you're just going to raise whichever one is better at badminton.
Yeah, so that's how it is.
Is that what's really going to happen?
And somehow they ended up being at the same place at the same time to meet each other and be like, oh shit, you're my sister. But it's like, okay, what are the odds of that happening also?
Oh, yeah.
Anyway.
If we're going to start talking about the odds of things that happen in anime...
I mean, there's okay. We don't want to go down that line. Anyway.
It's one of those shows for me where, in addition to everything that I've already said, or failed to say, rather, there's something else about it that I can't quite place that just, like, grinds my gears a little bit. Like... I don't even really have a way to articulate it because I'm not educated enough in like in writing and filmmaking and animation, but I can feel the lost potential in the show.
Yeah.
It emanates from it.
My second main part being that I talked to you about this recently, but the part where at the end of the episode Connie gets on the train to go to, like, what she thinks is, like, the Inner High tournament, and she ends up getting on the wrong train, and then it closes, and then you're like, oh shit, she's gonna be late. And that's what I thought at the end of the episode. I was like, oh fuck, that's gonna stir up things. And then it just didn't matter.
I think it's just supposed to be, like, a funny little goof.
I get that, but, like, why make it,
like,
why do that? Why do that in the end of the episode, then, to make it seem like that's the part of the next episode?
Haha, now she's gonna get lost and possibly kidnapped by... people from a strange part of the city.
That's great.
You know, getting lost in a strange part of the city by yourself as a high school student.
You know, welcome to anime.
Haha, fun. Fun little giggle time for everyone.
To wrap this up for Hanebado, though, I will say that I don't enjoy it.
I want to not watch anymore.
I am going to watch more just to see if it changes. If this anime continues past 12 episodes, I probably won't watch it anymore. If things don't change at all for the characters, I probably won't watch anymore. I strangely dislike Hanebado, but I strangely like Hanebado in some way where I still feel like I want to watch it at the end of the week. I don't know why the fuck that is.
Because of that good animation?
I think that's mainly what holds me to it.
Because of your high hopes that it could still be something?
That's mainly it.
Because the pieces are there.
The pieces are definitely there. But it's not coming together. And I'm hoping that it eventually will. Anyway, moving on. What do you want to talk about next? I want to go Cells at Work, actually.
Okay, let's go.
So, Cells at Work, I don't have a ton of things to say about that. Mainly because
There hasn't really been a plot that's progressed.
No, I mean, it's just, pretty much like them just doing kind of things in the body system when we're learning.
Slice of flesh.
Slice of flesh.
Anime.
The new type
The new genre.
So, not a slice of life anime. Slice of life combined with being in the inner workings of a human body.
Yes.
So, slice of flesh. You might call it Osmosis Jones.
Okay, if you want to just throw it on out there.
I love Osmosis at Work. So
there we go. That's the title right there.
I will say that, but so far I fucking love Cells at Work.
Oh
yeah. There's no really plot to it. It's just me learning about the human body and certain diseases. Yeah, is that
the actual point of
the show? That was the actual point of the show.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was just thinking while I was watching today, I was like, Are they gonna? Is this just for educational purposes, or is there a plot that's gonna like
once again for
develop?
Once again for going back to ships, I ship white blood cell with red blood cell.
I feel like they're just friends who are the opposite sex.
I feel like they're great because they're met as kids, and he saved her countless times and watches over her, and I think that's just the cutest fucking thing ever. I mean, it might not be a relationship; they may be just friends, but I can hope, Scott.
Okay,
that's the point of a ship.
Okay.
Anyway, I mean, I have nothing really more to say on it. I love it. I love what they've done with it. Everything about it is pure as shit. Apparently I read
except for all the fucking gore. I was thinking about that. Dude, there's a scene, like one of the many scenes of white blood cell running just covered in blood.
it's so like,
again had the distinct thought of like, Jesus Christ.
It's so like child friendly, but not child friendly.
Yeah, it's so fucking gory.
I love that. Actually I read this article recently, and I love thinking about it because like I don't know, like I'm not a bio major by any chance, but
by any chance,
by any means, I'm drunk, Scott. Get over it. Anyway,
I tried to think of something funny.
Let me look there.
I couldn't think of anything.
Wait, hang on. Let me take a drink before we continue.
Oh, because that's what we need. Is more alcohol.
Oh God. Anyway, getting back to it, the thing I liked is that I read an article recently that was talking about so there's an episode in Cells at Work where they talk about cancer cells and the development of cancer cells and how cancer cells are pretty much meant to be like some type of cell that's manufactured in the body but ends up getting deformed and then turned into a cancer cell. So a person that is a genuine cancer study researcher that focuses on cancer cells, that was Japanese, recently like talked about, like they interviewed him, and he basically said that like Cells at Work was just so fucking accurate, and was just praising the anime for like, even though it's like the workings of a human body in the sense of a city with people and whatnot, it was a great analogy. And
like as accurate as you could be with that analogy being your premise. Like
and like he said it worked amazingly, and he was saying that this whole anime is just such a good like lesson to people. And I love the fact that I'm watching anime for once in my life where I'm genuinely learning something.
Dude, if I had gotten to watch anime in freshman bio, that would have been way more exciting.
Imagine
than
watching
my teacher telling me I was gonna get cancer from drinking way too much Diet Coke. I know, Miss Berger.
Oh no, I love Miss Berger. I still talk to Miss Berger.
Really?
Yeah, I saw her like 2 days ago.
Oh shit. How's she doing? Okay, we'll talk about this later.
How's she doing? She's great. Anyway, Cells at Work, Miss Berger.
Miss Berger. I'm so glad you remembered your
Berger at Work. That is our freshman biology teacher, by the way. Anyway, going back to it. Yeah, Cells at Work is amazing. Do you have anything to really add here?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's literally just like the purest thing going on right now. I actually love the animation for it too. It's been pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Everything about it. I love the platelets. I love these cute little girls. I love all the red blood cells. I love how she gets lost all the time, even though that's her fucking job. But all right.
It's fine.
I love that white blood cell is constantly just meeting
they always just run into each
even though they're like, well, I probably won't run into you considering that there are billions and billions of cells in the body. But hey,
I seem to be
red
running
blood
into
cell.
You a lot.
I see you all the time.
Is that you? What if they're all actually different, but there's just so many that, statistically speaking, a few of them bound to look alike?
You might be on something, Scott.
I definitely am.
I think it's just that they take
a white blood cell. They all look the same.
Like they pretty much just take a main character from that set of people and then make them the main part of it.
Yeah.
Like the fucking like T killer T cell, like the one guy being the main killer T cell, and fucking the what are they called, the maids with the big guillotine swords. You know what I'm talking about?
Macrophage?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fucking love that.
I'm good at reading, not good at
pronunciation. Plus, it's in Japanese, so it's like hard to pronounce.
True enough.
It's definitely different from us.
Let's talk about the game, the show. Persona.
Oh, it came the show. I don't really have. Once again, we were talking about this earlier. I don't really have much to say about Persona. I like what they're doing with it. I'm excited to see what they do with the ending of it. Like we were talking about this earlier, but like we were like, Persona is basically for fan service and like for people who have played the game. But like I was watching this part recently where it shows him in an arcade and he picks up a gun. And
that scene was so weird.
Like you see one of the confidants come up to him in the game that like is your like gun expert, and he's like this little boy, and I remember you just see him look down at his hands and like these guns appear
for just a second, just like a few frames.
But like I think it's cool because like that's the part where like essentially he just gained a new gun ability. But it's like, you would not fucking understand that if you never played the game.
Yeah.
So there's really no point to it. But I think once again, it's fan service.
And it's weird for me, like, watching it as somebody who has not played the game, but yet knows a lot about Persona for someone that's ever played it, since I spent so much time with you.
Yeah, you've seen me play so much of it also.
It's almost like I'm watching it with none of the rewards of the fan service and none of the rewards of plot, because I already know
plot.
What's probably going to happen.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm just watching nothing.
I mean, that's fine.
I'm just watching drawings move and then mostly not move.
There's some stuff, even for a person who has like watched the series, that I'm like, oh, cool, it's like kind of interesting. Or I'm like, okay, I'm surprised that they did this, I'm surprised they did this, and I'm happy that you're actually watching it with me, so I at least have someone to describe this to. But yeah, it's an interesting series.
I want to hear kind of more of your thoughts on how they've made the protagonist in Persona.
Oh, we were talking about this earlier, actually.
Yeah.
It's weird. Like I find it like so weird how much of a personality they've given the main protagonist in Persona. Like at first I was like, oh, he's so bland because he kind of says the same answers that you would say in the game. But like then there's parts like this most recent episode where they're at like the fucking school festival, and he fucking pulls off the mask of the person who's at the haunted house, and like he has strangely no persona, but he has strangely no personality.
He has all the personas.
He has all the personas. He has strangely no personality, but strangely a ton of personality. It's hard to describe.
How does that vary? Like, is that how you go through the game as just like?
I mean, I go through the game as myself, so I go through the game as how I would play it. But in this, you're seeing it kind of... I mean, so far from what he's done, like, he does a lot of the same answers that I would. I remember there's a part where he meets Kawakami at, like, when the first time they ever do, like, the maid scene. And you can see her as a maid, and he says he's a dad. And I legit did pick the part that... I played the game 5 times at this point, and I've never strayed from the path of saying that I'm a dad. And I love that. They've done quite a bit of fan service, and I'm very happy of how they have managed to do it. But yeah, I'm a dad, you know?
Okay, kind of a weird way to close that off.
But yeah, I think that they've definitely given him a lot more personality than I thought they were going to originally give him. I thought that they were going to do something completely different with him, but actually ended up liking what they did with him, where they just kind of gave him answers to say, and then they give him lines to say at certain points where it was necessary to give him lines.
Yeah.
But like for the most part, like also he's played by Jun Fujioka. I don't remember if that's the last name correctly, but he's
couldn't tell you. If you did.
But he's the voice actor. He actually plays the voice of Shinra in Durara, as well as a lot of other things. But like that's just kind of how his voice is, to be honest.
Yeah.
And like seeing him in this, like it's kind of cool because I don't know, reflecting off of that voice actor, it actually fits so perfectly that it's like kind of weird. Like I can't imagine anybody else playing the protagonist rather than Jun. Yeah.
Because when you're going through, there's no like voice for the answers you select, right? It's just silent.
Yeah, but he does talk sometimes.
Okay.
Sometimes he'll say, "oboeteru," which means take out like the part where he says it in the anime part where he pulls out the mask. That line that he did in the anime was actually the same exact voice line that they use in the game.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like no difference at all, unless he redid it, but like it sounded exactly the same. Which is kind of cool.
That's pretty good.
Well, that was weird.
Testing.
Are we recording? I believe we are. Yes, we are. Anyway, so we just dropped the mic. Made a whole commotion.
Are you gonna make the mic drop joke or me?
Mic drop bam.
Yeah.
BTS.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
There we go. Okay. Obligatory joke completed.
Okay.
I don't think that's the right word or a word at all. Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Anyway, Persona 5, much as I don't really have a lot to say about it, I love the protagonist and I like what they've done with it so far. In terms of me just knowing about the game as a person who is aware of the fan service, they're doing an amazing job. I really liked what they did with Hifumi and how they show her as a shogi player and like you get to finally see her. At least you see one of the confidants who you don't actually really... Like, so far, all the confidants that you've seen that are extra, like, have not been seen in the game. I mean, I've not been seen in the show. Hifumi is the only one that I've seen that's been, like, generally prominent. So, moving on. Did you have anything?
No.
No?
I'm trying to think what's next.
So...
We haven't talked about My Hero.
My Hero or Attack on Titan is left.
Oh, cool.
So Attack on Titan, I figured we'd just get this out of the way.
Okay,
Because we don't have a ton to say about it. Remember, me and Scott are both adamant readers of Attack on Titan. We're not caught up currently, but I love Attack on Titan. I don't really have to say anything about the animation because the animation for Attack on Titan is always flawless. I have no complaints about it. Everything they've done so far has gone right. A lot of people have a lot of complaints currently about this season who haven't read the manga just because they're not aware of how political this season was.
Yeah.
And a lot of people find this season to be quite boring, but I personally just love this season.
This is one of my favorite arcs.
Honestly, it was a very good way to deal with, like,
I think it made
problems in their society.
Yeah, exactly. It made it really fleshed out the world and like made the place that they're living feel like yeah, it's a fucking like real place with its own government and like different parties that are trying to collect power and move humanity in a certain direction that they think is right. Like
they're essentially a country.
Yeah.
Which like they needed to establish a government. And I think it's cool that, like, they straight up just started a coup. They did a coup recently.
And in the last episode, they're pretty much just like, hey, we need you to be part of this coup.
And then Historia's like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll be part of your coup.
That's fine.
Yeah.
I like how they've done everything with the Eren finally being able to speak. Because Eren this season has been so chained up, literally.
Yeah.
That he has not had the chance to say anything. So it's been nice to see this recent episode where he finally got the chain off his mouth and he's able to speak. I'm sure Yuki Kaji, the voice actor of Eren, was upset at the amount of lines he probably got this season because he didn't talk at all. The fucking protagonist of the show does not speak for 10 episodes.
Are you asking? Because I don't know how many.
No, I'm just stating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Man, I feel like when I read all this stuff, I had so many more thoughts about it that I wish I could remember and talk about. But like,
I definitely
we're so far past it. Like, I almost feel like anyone who's only watching might be a little disappointed in our lack of like things to say about what's going on. But it's just like
at this point in time, everything that's going on right now is so irrelevant.
It's so far behind.
So I just have nothing to say about what's currently going on because I already know what's gonna happen.
Which is a weird experience for me, because, like, Attack on Titan is the only thing I read, so this is the first time I'm really feeling this feeling of, like, well, I'm kind of just watching this to see what this looks like with moving instead of just pictures.
Scott, this is my feeling all the fucking time.
I can tell. I don't know how
sucks.
you do it. It's exhausting.
It just sucks because you watch stuff and you're like, oh, it's cool, or you watch stuff and you get pissed off because you're like, they did this wrong.
They didn't do it, yeah.
And like, there's a lot of times where this is forever ago, but like, did you watch Erased?
Yes.
So Erased is the prime example of an anime that was adapted from a manga that truly pissed me off.
Huh.
Because they changed the ending. They got rid of several key attachment with characters being involved with each other.
And they made their major plot points in their story super predictable.
Yeah. As opposed to the manga where I just didn't know what was going on at all times, where I was constantly on my feet. And
not knowing what's going on in a good way, though.
Yes. There's a lot of times where I'm just because I read a lot. If there's any show that I just find amusing at all, that I just think is going to be good for the future, I will pick it up and read it. And there's been a lot of times where I've done that, and I was very happy at the anime at the time, and then very disappointed later at the anime at the time because I figured out that it's completely wrong, or they fucked it up, or made it their own, or did something with it. And there's a lot of everything I'm watching currently that I have, I guess, been reading has been goddamn perfect. But besides that,
don't jinx yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'll come across something that'll air eventually that'll be like, oh, it's stupid. But I can't think of anything that I'm reading at the moment that isn't currently airing, or hasn't aired in the past and has been finished. So, or stuff that they just won't probably continue.
Okay.
Yeah. But Attack on Titan, love it. Has been great. A lot of people think it's rushed. I don't think so.
I couldn't tell.
Honestly, once again, it's been forever since I've read that part.
Yeah.
But now that I think about it, I feel like Attack on Titan series is always kind of constantly going in a pretty fast motion. So I don't think there's really anything to rush.
They tend to do things in a way where you get little tidbits of information that let you kind of build an idea of what might be going on, and then they have an episode or two where they're kind of here's a bunch of shit about the world. Okay, we're done. Tidbit, and they start feeding it back out and building more mystery back up.
That's
kind of how they do it.
Astonishing about Attack on Titan is the amount of, oh my god, I answered this question, but now you have 80,000 different other questions that I need to answer.
And I think what they do, though, that makes that method still effective, even though there's definitely a pattern there, is they change up the pacing to when you're when you get certain amounts of information.
Yeah. So
you'll get large pockets of I don't want to say you'll get a large amount of explanations in one space, not so much exposition. I guess it is exposition, literally speaking, but
yes,
not okay, I'm just gonna move on from what I'm trying to say. So you'll get a large amount of exposition in one place, and then the period where you're to build more I'm fucking this up so bad.
You're drunk.
I'm a very drunk boy. Oh my goodness. I didn't realize it was as bad.
It's very bad. Bad.
Yeah, it's bad.
So you can't continue.
No.
Okay.
I'm out of the ring. Out of the race.
Okay. Well, Attack on Titan has been great. I love it. It's been a good time seeing all the stuff animated, considering
the animation is so beautiful in Attack on Titan.
Considering that Isayama is very, very fucking bad at drawing. I mean, he's gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
The animation, the manga art has definitely gotten 10 times better than what it was. But shit, it was real bad a while ago. I remember I was like, what the fuck are they killing? I couldn't tell if it was a Titan or a small person. It didn't matter. But moving on.
A small person? Like a child? Like one of the scouts just killing a child?
I mean, dude, would you put it past them at this point? Would you put anything past anybody in Attack on Titan? I guess it does depend, but still, I'm like, everybody's killing everybody. Doesn't matter.
Anyway, a lot of killing going on.
Moving on to Hero Academia. Oh wait, we never talked about Dead Apple.
Oh, okay. Let's do that because we're at 1 hour and 4 minutes.
Okay. Do you want to wrap up Hero Academia really fast?
Yeah, I think we all know what our thoughts are on it.
Pretty
it's
much.
Great. Future of Shonen. Yeah.
Yeah, Future
I love
Shonen.
it.
I was really happy to see that they finally did the reveal for Toga being what's her name?
Yeah.
Cammy. Obviously Bakugo is smart as shit. Finally figuring out Midoriya's quirk, even though he knew pretty much all along.
That's one of my favorite character traits about Bakugo, and it's something that isn't like put in the forefront of his character.
No, it's not.
But it's something that they mention multiple times throughout the series, and I think it's easy to forget. But once you like when you actually see and hear him like explaining out his reasoning, that's when you really realize like over and over again, like, oh yeah, Bakugo's fucking intelligent as hell.
And he knows exactly when to calm himself and when to be a savage. Which you've seen. And obviously next episode he's going to battle Midoriya. So
I'm stoked for that.
We'll see how much of a savage he really is and how much he's grown, which I mean like according to like the fight that we saw from when he was with like the League of Villains, like goddamn Bakugo can hold his own.
Oh my god.
He did fail the test though for the pretty much is like what is that? Pretty much like getting their permits for being a super,
provisional licenses.
Yeah, the provisional licenses. He fucked up that up. I like Todoroki because like he fucked up, but he's like aware that it's fine.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, I made a new friend now, so it's like okay.
I don't know if I call him friends.
I mean, like it's pretty much
the guy explicitly says, "Hey, I still don't like you."
But it's also
if someone comes up to me and says, "Hey, by the way, like, I don't like you," I'm like, "Oh,
it's still It's still like an anime, like happiness like way, like where it's not like he doesn't like him, but he's not gonna try to like kill him or anything.
Yeah, they're healthy rivals.
They're healthy rivals.
Rivalry.
Yeah, there you go.
They're the words. They made it out.
Anyway,
Dead Apple.
Hero Academia is great. Dead Apple. Dead Apple was weird.
It was a very strange. I still don't fully know if I know what happened.
So, I'm going to give kind of a rundown of Dead Apple really fast. So, for Bungo Stray Dogs Dead Apple, basically, if you didn't watch the series for Bungo, you could make sense of it, I guess. But, like, not really. You needed to watch the series for Bungo. Good opening can times.
You know, you don't have to comment. It's already distracting.
Anyway, so, during... during Dead Apple, it was essentially about a story of Dazai's past and like more of Dazai's past going into this villain that he had gone through that ties in with Dazai's past as well as Atashi's past. And this kind of brought forth the villain that you see in the end of season 2 named Fyodor Dostoevsky. So Fyodor is in the end of the series, and like this, it was kind of weird because they made this whole thing for Dead Apple that like technically isn't like a canon part of the manga, but like they brought it in with a way that was like, oh, we can introduce all these characters that are going to be next season, but like not really expose anything about them. Like Fyodor was in the entire series, but like you don't know shit about him even in the end of the series. I mean, even in the end of the movie. Which is what they're trying to do for next season, because that's his whole plot line. But, like, it was just a bunch of weird shit with this one guy who had, like, the power to steal.
He kind of had a whole bunch of different things.
He had a ton of different abilities, because he can make that room. Anyway, this guy could not only, like, basically what his thing was is that he would create this big cloud of smoke that would go through an area and essentially cause anybody who was a gifted person to get killed by their own ability. And after that person was killed, he would then harvest the ability to his, like, if he killed, it would go to his, like, big castle in the sky, whatever that fucking is, and would just immediately come up in his inventory of powers that he has.
Which, like, could he actually use the ones that he had, or did he just
He was just he was just a collector. That was literally his code name, was the Collector.
It's like, what's the point?
Just the fact that you're a psychopath who wants to kill people. What is the point of Bungo Stray Dogs? There's no plot.
That's true enough. There is no plot.
There is really no plot in Bungo Stray Dogs.
The weirdest part is you pointed that out to me earlier, and I had the exact same moment of confusion and then immediate understanding of like, what? Oh yeah.
Like, when you really think about Bungo Stray Dogs,
what is the plot of Bungo Stray Dogs?
I love Bungo Stray Dogs, but Bungo Stray Dogs like has really no plot. The only main plot is that the fact that they were trying to capture Atsushi in the first 2 seasons by the guild. The guild is no longer there, so what really is the plot now? Like, it's pretty much just the detective agency solving crimes, I guess. And I guess it's more like Freak of the Week type things. But, like, still, like, in the overall sense of things, I don't think Bungo really has that big of a plot. And, I mean, mostly non-existent. But I do like the fact that Bungo has, like, little minor things that aren't that big. I mean, they will get bigger after this season if they do make a 3rd season, just because the current thing that's going on in the manga is decently cool, and I think that it does have more of a plot line, I would say. But once again, it still doesn't have like a overarching like, you know, like I want to be a hero, or I want to go back in time to make Steins Gate. Or did we talk about Steins Gate? Did we miss Steins Gate?
I think we did miss Steins Gate.
We did miss Steins Gate.
Or maybe we didn't, and our memories just got sent back in time to make us remember that we had forgotten Steins Gate.
No, we completely blew over Steins Gate.
Oh, okay. I guess that's if you want to just be rational about it and not fun at all.
Well, we'll talk about that after this. Then we'll kind of wrap this up. But Dead Apple was very confusing. There was a lot of parts in it that I like. It was just like it was filler. So it was like they made up parts of people's background stories that, if you didn't watch the movie, it really wouldn't matter. But they made a lot of parts of the series that even if you did watch it, it still could go along with the actual series because they didn't reveal anything about the next villain, which is Fyodor. They kind of showed Dazai's like perspective on certain situations and how he feels about now current day status of the mafia and how he feels about why he joined the armed detective agency and like the way Atsushi feels now about the original fucking place orphanage that he was in. But besides that, like other characters weren't featured, so it was mainly just Atsushi, Kyoka, fucking what's his Octagawa? Yeah. I love the thing I love about Bungo is that like I love how in the first season it was all like, oh my god, the Port Mafia is our villain. And, like, all this stuff. And then they're like, oh, wait, let's team up with the Port Mafia several times.
Several different times.
And like, everybody in the detective agency and everybody in the Mafia is, like, fully aware of each other and, like, has a past with one another. And it's pretty...
fine, you know.
So I'm like, you know, whatever, but...
There's no conflict of interest there. None at all.
None at all.
What could you possibly mean?
So... That's pretty much it. They're pretty much like, yo, if you step out of line, we'll fuck you up. But, like, if you don't step out of line and you want to hang out, maybe get some pizza. I don't know.
Come over around 8. It'll be fun. We'll use our abilities together.
I'll use corruption, and Dazai can stop me. That was a good part of that movie. I really like the whole Chuya aspect of the movie. I think that they went into characters that weren't really around in the show that I think got more character development that I wasn't like aware of, that I'm very happy it happened. That's about it.
Alright, dude, let's go through Steins Gate.
So Steins Gate. First thing I want to say is, my god, for it being a side series that technically isn't part of a canon part of Steins Gate. I mean, I guess it's canon, but it's like you don't have to watch Steins Gate 0. This is just the beta version of the world. The beta timeline. But I will say that holy shit. Even if you're not down to, like, get into the beta timeline where Makise doesn't exist and all this shit, holy shit is it a good ride. I love everything about it so far. Especially in current episodes, the past 2 episodes have been a blast. Especially seeing, like, because in the original series, you never got to see anybody who was from the future.
A blast from the past.
And now you're getting a blast from the future. Now we're going back to the future.
Come on.
So not only do we get to go back to the past, but we also get to go back to the future.
Okay, we did it. We just did that.
So it was great. Moving on. But Scott, if I get past, can I get future?
Oh my god. Come on. I'm not high enough for that.
Anyway, super cool. This current episode, you literally get to watch Okabe ascend into madness once again and go back for 3,000 times in the phone microwave. So he's just going back 2-week intervals until he finally made it back to his own timeline. But holy fuck.
Jesus.
And then, even after all of this shit that he's been through, in order to reach Steins Gate, where he would have stopped all the madness to come, and would have saved Mayuri and fucking Suzuha, ends up in the end of the episode that it just blows up in his face again. So, next episode, we get to see him... Because the thing I like about this version of Steins Gate is that... So, as opposed to the original version of Steins Gate... Well, I mean, to equal it. In the original Steins Gate, you had all these characters that wanted something changed about them. They went back in time, ended up changing those features. Mm-hmm. And then Okabe realized that this time lapse is causing people to die, specifically Mayushi. And so in order to revert this and to reach Steins Gate, he had to bring his meter up, whatever, the time meter thing up that he created, up till past, up till 0.
Yeah.
And so throughout the series, you're watching him essentially, which when you think about Steins Gate, it's kind of stupid because all he does is make all these problems that eventually he later has to correct. And then finally reach Steins Gate, which he eventually reaches anyway. And... But in Steins Gate 0, you're also kind of watching the same exact thing, where right now, all he's doing is, there's all these events leading up to Mayushi and Suzuha getting blown up in the time machine. And you're watching him just slowly redo that over and over again until eventually it's correct.
Right.
Yeah. Which is what Okabe has to do. He has to send to he has to go literally... go to the madness that he has been trying to avoid this entire time just to do it all over again and do it 10 times stronger. I heard recently in a theory from somebody that somebody calculated the amount of times that Okabe had to time travel while Mayushi was dying in the first season, and someone said that he he's just going day after day watching her die.
Yeah.
Apparently he watched her die every single day for a year and a half.
Jesus.
So, every single day, just she would die in some horrific way, and he would have to go back in time.
I mean, they specifically address it in the original Steins Gate at some point, where he's just like, I just stopped caring about it. Or not stopped caring, but he pretty much says,
turned a blind eye to it.
Yeah, he's like, Mayushi dies, that's part of this. That's part of what happens next. And then I go back in time and we do it again.
Yep.
That just becomes his attitude at a certain point.
And shit, that must have been how it was in this series, because I remember he had to go back for 2-week increments and pretty much just explain to Amadeus Kurisu that he was like, "Yo, I'm from the future. You gotta go with me. Don't worry about it. You'll believe me." I feel
there should be there's no hesitation when he's like, "Hey, by the way, I'm from the future. You gotta
believe me."
They're just okay, we believe.
All right,
good.
Sure, Okabe. That's fine.
Yeah. That should be I was really hoping we wouldn't have to go through the whole thing where they're like, "Are you really from the future?"
Yeah.
He's just like, "No, it's fucking me. It's me."
It was cool this last episode also to see everybody who had obviously to see the future of people. It was cool to see Daru as a skinny older man. Obviously he was super.
He doesn't look much
he looks like skinny
skinny
dad is what I imagine him.
He's just a skinny dad. He's an in-shape dad.
Rukako. Holy fuck, shit. Was he a badass.
Very cool boy.
Still became a hot woman, though.
Yeah.
Still became a hot trap.
Just a hot boy.
Yeah, just a hot boy. Anyway, and it was cool to see that you get to go back in time, and I remember at one point in time throughout his time experience going back, he actually runs into Yuki and Suzuha being alive, and Suzuha was like a small child, and I remember Suzuha was like super like nervous around him. And I thought that was super cute because it's like it's weird to see like Daru and his family when you realize that this is the actual timeline where they exist.
Yeah.
As opposed to him being a child having to deal with his own child.
This show just
Steins Gate blows my mind. Honestly, I always thought like
there's a whole lot going on.
There's a whole lot going on. There's a lot of things where I'm like, that's kind of weird. But there's a lot of times where I'm like, holy fuck, they did a good job. And like, I was thinking about it's weird. The other day I was like looking into a bunch of stuff, and like the original series is based off of like this original myth from the early 2000s about John Titor and like time travel and all this stuff that he talked about, and like all of that genuinely existed. And it's weird to think that like they tied all these series events into like all this stuff going around in this universe, and did it in such a way that made it seem very believable. And like it's kind of cool because like all these like the IBM like the computer, like CERN, all this stuff, like that's all real shit that happened that people believe to be actual conspiracy theories. And like John Titor being Suzuha, and like John Titor, and like like they talk about how Suzuha took a stop at 1998, which is the exact time when John Titor started posting on forums about being a time traveler, and had to stop it at 1975 to retrieve the IBM 500. So like it's super cool to see all this stuff happening, and then
like using info that exists in the real world to make create their fiction and make it seem like more believable and to draw you further into the story. I mean, it's really good writing.
Super good writing. I love Steins Gate. Steins Gate is still probably one of my favorite series ever. Love it.
Steins Gate is an anime that I don't like. I'm trying to think of how I never feel super stoked to sit down and watch an episode, but by the time an episode ends, I'm left with my mouth agape or my teeth clenched and just on the edge of my seat wanting to see wanting the next episode to be out.
Steins Gate actually used to give me I don't know, there are some shows that I watched that I used to genuinely not want to watch it because it actually gave me anxiety to watch. And Steins Gate used to
Steins Gate is the fucking show that'll give you anxiety.
That show and ReZero.
That'll do it.
ReZero, I remember every week when ReZero was coming out, I genuinely had anxiety trying to figure out what was going to happen. I remember after the episode was over, I was like, fuck, I have to wait a week for to know what's going on. And I remember at one point in time during the end of the series for ReZero, I was I did not know what was going to happen at all. And the first 13 episodes of ReZero were fine, and then after that 13, it was just Jesus Christ, this show's kind of fucked up. And I was I don't know what's gonna happen to Subaru this entire time, and I hope that he's fine. But I also am you're a dumbass, and I don't really like you that much. But I'm also I hope you're okay. Anyway, Steins Gate. Love Steins Gate. I love everything that's going on. I love that Okabe has finally returned to his hoeing kill myself. Finally, a mad scientist.
Mad scientist. More so than ever before, it seems.
He's even doing the phone thing again, where he talks to himself. Where he's imagining that he's talking to the members of the agency that are trying to go after him. And I love that. Hyajo is pretty much what in the fuck is this guy?
I know.
Because I only knew him as this calm, collected man who was trying to get into this college. But now he's that
was the best
they're
part
after
of
me. They're after me. They're coming after me. You guys need to help me make this time find more way. I'm oh my god, dude! You just did a complete 180. And also to them, it's a second because he was in the future for weeks, but all of a sudden he's here and he's all right, guys. He says El Congro in the last episode. Now it's oh my god, that's kind of cool. I don't know, something about Okabe and his personality. I'm happy to see him back, and I'm happy to see just it was cool.
It's good to see him as himself.
Yeah, it's cool to see Steins Gate Zero just in general, just because I like how they took him and made him into something different in the series, and then literally showed a broken man in the series and reverting back to his old self after all of this.
I was thinking about this today after watching the latest episode of Steins Gate, how when they're like initially portrayed in the first season of Steins Gate, it's like these people go from being pretty much a group of like I guess they're teenagers, right?
Yeah, they're
that
teenagers.
Just hang out in this one place and like fuck around, but then accidentally invent time travel and become a force that challenges the governments of the world for the power of time travel. Like, Ferris has a fucking gun in one of these episodes. Like, she's shooting at people with cat ears.
I remember I was super alarmed because I remember the first time, like, when Okabe, like, finally gets past the whole, like, being in a coma for 11 years. I remember the first time he time travels, he's, like, in, like, this area holding a gun. And they're like, are you making it to the mission yet? And, like, just imagine all these kids after all this time. Like, yeah, they're older at this point. But, like, in the future, Okabe, during this timeline, is making, like, terrorist acts against the government. Like, it's weird to think that he's, like, gone to this extreme. Like, shit, he's holding a gun. He's, like, ready to kill people.
I think it's pretty cool. Like, the way that they portray people who are pretty much just, like, average folks, but when pushed to extreme circumstances, they adapt and become themselves, like, people
also
who live in the world of the extreme.
Also, there's, like, the notion that, like, Okabe the entire time believes that he's going to die in this time period, and doesn't. And, like, he was always aware that, like, oh, I'm going to live up until this point, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But, like, he was like, oh, you die in 2025 or something like that. But then he's like, oh, you didn't die, you were just in a coma. We just lied to you. So it's like, he's been lied about the future and, like, all this shit, and, like, I don't know. We'll see how it goes. There's only 3 episodes of Steins Gate Zero left, I'm pretty sure. I have no idea how much is left of Persona. I am kind of upset to see if they end it in 2 episodes, because, like, they do not have enough time to do that. Hero Academia is going for another, like, 4 or 5 episodes, I think, and then it's over. Well, not over, but,
yeah,
like...
I was
going to
say, it'll go for longer than that.
I hope Attack on Titan continues past this current arc, because I want them to do the Shiganshina arc before this season is over. Or at least start the Shiganshina arc. I don't give a shit about Hanebado.
Yeah.
Cells at Work is kind of whatever also, because it's just kind of like a series of random knowledge I'll get from about the human body.
Although knowledge is good. I would like more knowledge.
Am I forgetting anything?
I think that's it.
I believe that is. Anyway, I think that about concludes this podcast.
Yeah. Send us a Gmail.
Send us a Gmail. We have a way for you to...
Or an email.
Ask
to our Gmail.
Yeah, an email to our Gmail. That is at otakushotglass@gmail.com, because I couldn't get the fucking name otakushot@gmail.com for whatever reason. Whoever has that Gmail, give it up to me. You can also answer questions on my Tumblr at nijimazmakoto at tumblr.com. My URL has been the same for... Oh, God. My URL has been the same for, like, 5 months. I'm really surprised about that, actually.
Oh, wow. A whole 5 months?
Well,
what's your record? For the longest?
A year.
So 5 months isn't really all that impressive, huh?
Well, as opposed to me changing it every month. Yeah.
Okay.
Like, 5 months is...
Why don't you just keep it the same?
I don't know, I get into phases, and I get all this shit, and I'm just like, ooh, I find better ones, and I'm like, ooh, what's that, this one?
I guess
like, ooh, who knows what we can
what else do we need to
you can get on our Twitter, I guess. I actually use it for random purposes, such as Overwatch, and following people on Overwatch. You can message me there, though. I'm actually frequently on there, at our Otakushot Twitter. I literally just use it to look at people's Twitters. That's it.
So apparently the Otakushot is your sock account.
Is essentially that.
Asexually?
Asexually that.
Asexually your sock account.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm done.
So that's that. Those are pretty much the only 3 ways to reach us.
Yeah, we don't have like
maybe
some carrier pigeons.
My phone number is not gonna tell you.
My credit card number is...
Anyway, follow us on the social media, whatnot. Like us and subscribe to us and hit that bell icon for our YouTube channel, because we should probably, advertise the thing that we post on.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, if they like it, they'll do it.
Yeah, we used to SoundCloud, but that just didn't work out because you had to pay like money and stuff for it.
Yeah, we don't have that.
We're broke, man.
Yeah.
Anyway, that about concludes this podcast. Tune in about a month. It's rough. We'll let you know what happens. By then, I'm sure anime has completely changed because it'll be next season next month. So next episode, we'll kind of talk about what we're gonna begin next time.
What? Hold on. One more again? What did you just say?
I'm saying that it's gonna change seasons next time, so we'll talk about what we're gonna view next time.
Okay.
That makes sense, though.
I think it does. I can't even tell. Am I laughing at my own perception? What you're saying? Or?
I absolutely do not know. Just know that next episode, the next season, which is fall anime, will begin. So therefore, we will have to pick up new stuff, and all the other stuff will probably be ended by then. So just know the next episode we will be talking about what we're going to be watching for fall anime, as well as concluding what is going to be left over from this season, or, I mean, if it's still possibly going. We don't really know. Anyway, that's about it. Keep drinking. We're drunk. It's 2:42 in the morning. We should probably go to bed.
Yeah.
All right. Good night,
guys.